Hi, and welcome to this. This is Dwarfs, and we're gonna play this. I'm KaL.
And this is Snarboo. And I should note, you should pronounce it Dwarfs, ! Question mark.
I don't know how to pronounce it like that. It's like impossible to pronounce, but
Dwarfs? I don't know.
I don't think it's deliberate, but if you look at the logo just right, kinda looks like a dwarf wearing a helmet with a really long, beard, with a pick coming out. It just looks like a really fat dwarf.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
I don't know, when I glance at it, I just sort of go, is that no. Also, the EXE is called Dwarves! ! Obviously, in Windows, you are not allowed to mark as one of your characters.
Yes, the question mark is a preserved
so.
character for whatever reason. I think because of
it's
a wild card. I think kind of like Asterisk and a couple others.
So it would screw up everything. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, this game. This is the menu. There's no intro to the game. There's no title screen. It's just I wonder if that score window there is deliberately a face. Oh well, it's cute. This is made by Power of Two. There we go. And this is the full version of the game. I have been told there is a free-to-play version, which kinda silly, but it functions as more of an extended demo. You can buy individual additional components if you get, or you could just pay the $10, whatever it is, and get the full game with all of the bits and pieces and bells and whistles, like the exit window. Okay. So, if you were to come at this game fresh, you might be tempted to click Arcade, but the game actually has a tutorial system under campaign, and it also has challenges. I'm not particularly interested in tackling the challenges right now, so let's just look at the, well, I guess the arcade mode is the best one to start with. Let's hit hard, because I am super pro at this game, and we'll do a quick 15-minute session. Alright. It's nice and simple. So this game is kind of an interactive ant hive, is I guess the way I describe it. Whoops, press the wrong button, but nonetheless.
It's got elements of Dungeon Keeper as well.
Yes. But I would say, the, what's the, it's fine. Yes, I have to stay focused when they open a cave, which will make sense once we talk about how you play the game. So basically what happens is, you have very little control over any of your dwarves. These are diggers, the guys with the green around them. They do have green around them if you're colorblind, whatever. They do visually look different to the other dwarves. They carry pickaxes instead of hammers or axes or whatever. And the guys with the blue are gods who guard your base, and if your base is destroyed, you lose automatically. So avoid losing your base.
I should note real quick, the free-to-play version was, I don't know if it was meant as a tie-in with Killing Floor, but if you played that version, and you had to get so many points in the 15-minute mode, you were able to unlock a special weapon in that game, so there was some sort of weird tie-in there.
Very unusual tie-in, I didn't expect it, but
Tripwire published this game, actually.
That's right, they did publish both of them.
Yep. Uh-oh, water.
Whoop. Yes, we have our first water, and not in a good position. This is a very bad place to begin with water. But I will deal with it. Okay, so what you've seen is the, I guess the main way the game screws you over, I would say, is that rather than have how to describe it? Rather than necessarily just traditional enemies, this game, the dwarves and their insatiable desire to explore the map are your main threats. You can't tell your dwarves not to dig. They will dig and dig and dig until they kill themselves horribly. And that will happen very, very, very frequently, as any one of these black and unseeable caverns could contain water, lava, or a menagerie of different creatures. all of which will attempt to kill you. As you can see from the water here, if this water touches your base, you lose instantly. So you definitely should not allow that. There are more problems that can occur than just water. You have lava, which is kind of like water but flows slower, and we'll definitely see some monsters by the time we're done. So the way that you avoid it is once they have revealed the water, you can place dynamite to blow off any potential ingresses. You can block off the flow with walls, and then you have to hold down control and build this undiggable area in order to prevent more dwarfs from piling in and killing each other. And then Dwarf has just released some enemy minions, as you saw. So now this dwarf is probably gonna die because, yeah, he's useless. He's just gonna get wrecked. But that doesn't matter.
What are those you have unleashed? They look like goblins or something.
Yeah, they're kind of like goblins. I think they are the goblins. The game does have a, I think I can open it. If I open the menu, yeah, there's a codec. And it has all of the game's instructions and how you play it, hiding in here, and just little bits of information. Here we go, there's the goblin, you get a picture, and it tells you what they can do, and all the information you could ever need about them. And you've got bosses, and I'll look at a boss really quick. But basically, bosses are harder to fight, and if you don't kill them after a certain amount of time, they get really angry and start spamming some sort of ability. In the Goblin Shaman's case, he spams water. He summons chunks of water that will instantly kill you if you don't block that water off in like half a second. So, they can be real bastards if you don't kill them. As you can see, there is some fighting going on, and you might have noticed I've been laying down arrows occasionally. That is because there are... I think that dwarf has died. Yeah, that dwarf's dead. Fantastic. The dwarf unleashed lava. Okay, so what's happened is you can use the base thunder attack. They'll kill it, it's fine. You can lay down little arrows, and you can drag them around and point them. It tells your dwarves where to go if they hit the arrow. Choo-choo rocket style. They'll follow the arrow until they run out of, until they hit the end of it, I guess? Now,
yeah, until they hit the end of the line.
Yes. Lava is different to water in that it does this fiendish thing slower, but it burns through walls. So you have to be actually responsive to when lava shows up, because eventually it'll burn through the walls. So you definitely have to seal it off by putting dynamite and then having a hapless dwarf walk over it, which will then permanently seal that particular spot. Because no dwarf can walk through the instantaneous death that is a giant hole that goes to nowhere.
Now, I noticed it costs money to actually make something undiggable, so it's something worth noting. There's an economy in this system, right? Or an economy in this game, rather, economy system.
Yes. Basically, everything gets expensive very quickly. The cost of a wall is something like 100 per click, and I only have $800, so it is not cheap for me to go clicking these things. Now, every time a dwarf digs through a wall, you get a small amount of money. It is literally 1. So my money is very slowly crawling up. And you will get bonus money for...
I forget if it's treasure, or...
Yes, there are several things. You can see that there are minerals, and when you collect different minerals and elements or whatever, you will get a better chunk of money. As you can see, there aren't many left around me. I've got a reward has just popped up here because I've dug through 5,000 squares of ground, so that's good. And you can also find treasure rooms, which are very useful, and they're just like a quick pile of money that you get. So we'll just keep an eye on this.
Now, is the map
guy
infinite in size? I'm looking here.
No, it's not. We will run out of map. Okay. If I quickly scroll out. Whoops, someone's digging towards the lava. It's okay.
Okay, it's
I blew him up.
gigantic.
Yeah, it is a very large map. But the further out you get, the better quality of the minerals. It eventually goes to the green one, which I can't remember what it is. It's probably adamantium or something. But as you can...
Uranium, maybe.
Yeah. As you can clearly see, you get much larger chunks of unknown areas. And any one of them could be lava, or water, or monsters that will kill you instantly. Not instantly, but pretty rapidly. Now, what I'll do here is I'll seal off this completely, because I only have one little space left. Because they have to be 100% inaccessible. We've got a hole somewhere here. The hole would still exist. There we go.
So water eventually destroys the walls as well, doesn't it?
No, but water moves extremely rapidly. Like,
Okay.
You can lose the game in a few seconds. Which is not good. As you can see, this is now completely undiggable, so that the game has automatic off for me, and has given me a small reward. Yes, there are some catches. Whoop, someone's digging near the lava. But we won't let it. Yeah, so there are some extra little elements that we have to watch out for. Whoop, enemy minions. Where are they? We'll find them. Actually, I don't know. Oh, he found treasure, so I'm happy with that guy. But yes, if you notice a dwarf is approaching a room that has not been explored, you very much want to... Oh, there's the room with the enemies in it. You very much want to watch them explore it, because you can blow the dwarf up, in order to seal it off before you have to do anything further. So that's very handy. Now, you've noticed that the dwarves have numbers above them at some point, I hope. When you still
Yes,
have
they
numbers. I think
seem
you
to slowly level up.
Yes, they just level up over time by digging through things. I also think they get a bigger chunk of experience when they dig through minerals. So kind of one of the go-to strategies that I have employed in this game is that you can just shove them really far away, but force them to dig up a decent chunk of mineral so that it sort of pays for itself. And then you can micromanage a single dwarf and get plenty of extra money, because you really need the money in this game, otherwise you will get wiped so quickly. Now, the other features, you might have seen that the game slows down occasionally. There we go, he's dead. You have the ability to... Oh, he's dead. You have the ability to slow down time every so often. It's this space bar button. But it is only every so often. There's a very, very big limit on it. It basically... Water and you're on the other side of the map, you really want to be able to slow down the game, because otherwise you'll probably die before you can even get back. The other button is you've got...
Okay, I should know you're cutting out a little bit here and there, KaL.
When am I cutting out?
You were just cutting out while describing being able to pause the game with spacebar. I caught bits and pieces of it, though, so...
Well, I detonated him, but there was a cave. Okay. Well, maybe those goblins will kill themselves. Yes, they did. Anyway, this is a good moment for me to demonstrate. If this is... Yeah, that room's safe. I will demonstrate the outpost. Which... Oh god, the dwarf struck water. That's okay. That's okay, we're under control. Phew. Gotta be careful with that water. Could've killed everyone. Okay, back we go. So, you can build outposts. Now, these are the most important structure in the game, because They're the only structure in the game that you can build. Now what these allow you to do is build, well, outposts, little sentry points. Now on an outpost, you can build up to 4 dwarves that will act as additional security for your base. They won't actually defend the base unless you physically send them there, but you do have an alternative way to move these warriors around. Other than returning them to the base, you can use the cannon that is attached to the base, and then shoot them. Which is very handy.
So basically it gives you an artillery piece that you can use to whittle away enemies' health.
Well, you're not shooting the enemies, you're shooting the dwarves at the enemies.
Ah, okay.
Lava is released. Wait, hold on. Someone has released more lava. Okay, we have a lot of lava going on. Okay, we have a lot of lava going on. So let's try and rein this game in under our control. Alright, there's a lot of lava. This is a problem. We can survive this, it's just gonna be difficult.
Well, it's slow moving, like you said, so...
Yeah, but not when there's a shitload of it. That is a lot of lava, I'll tell you what. So we're gonna have to start killing valuable dwarves, just to make sure this lava doesn't kill us. Because lava is, quite insidious. Because it just takes time, and then it wipes you out. Now, since we only have 10 seconds left, I'll just speed the game up, and we'll just hope that we don't die before we run out of game. Yep, that's how you win. There we go.
Well, is there an endless mode? Because I noticed that all the game modes in arcade give you specific time limits. Like 30 minutes,
correct.
15
And we will look at the rest of the game now. Well, at least more of the game. So that was the 15-minute mode. We were just about to die horribly, but we didn't. And that's the trick. So, yeah, the game has several other modes. Other than campaign mode, which gives you a set goal, and I believe... yes, you get a sort of bronze, silver, gold medal, where you're supposed to beat the level in whatever given criteria they give you. Then you have skirmish, which will open up the other modes. And those modes are sandbox, which has no time limit, and I think it's one of those engine dealios like Sim-Ant, where you just get to you just get to do whatever the hell you want. So we can just dig a little bit in here. Can lay out some dwarves. I think we should be allowed to, I don't know if this one's actually gonna... I don't think you auto-spawn dwarves in this mode. Maybe if I change the settings, let me have a look. There we go. Wait, no, that's not it. Water speed, lava speed, generate caves, generate things. Okay, so yeah. You can change some of the settings, you can generate your own dwarves. Including the better...
Is there any advantage to generating your own dwarves? What does dark mode do? Is that where the entire map has like a fog of war kind of thing going on, or?
The other modes. Yeah, so this mode is basically you just get to mess around with the game's various features and settings. I thought there was one more boss in this game, or is it just a generic minion? Not sure. I'm going to double check that. Or maybe it was the Spider Queen that is Sakura's character. Yeah. So this one lets you build things, and also, I believe, lets you place water and kill yourself.
It's very unusual.
Speed it up. Shuck, 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 shuck. I don't think it's unusual. It's that they're just clearly letting you play with the mechanics that the game will
Well, that's
offer.
what I mean. You don't see that a lot in these sort of sim-esque sort of games these days, I don't think. Or you don't see it as often.
Yeah,
So it used to be very common.
you don't get to see that sort of stuff as often, so it's very nice that it includes a lot of features. So, we'll look at the other modes, because, I mean, you know, this is what you get for buying the game, essentially. You get the extra difficulties. I think you get normal and easy if you download it for free, and the other difficulties cost you money. Rush mode, which new dwarfs spawn all the time, and you can only let 200 of them die. A true testament overseer. We'll just quickly look at this mode, because it only takes a couple of seconds. You can already see what's gonna happen. There's, like, already 10 dwarfs spawned on my screen, and it is just going up. That number is flying up. We're not gonna last very long in this mode. This is for people who don't have enough stress in their lives. I mean, let's this guy gonna...
So basically it's the coffee break mode is what you're telling me here.
I don't know, I don't think a coffee break should be as stressful as this mode will become. Because I've already got like a billion dwarves. And that number's not gonna go down. But yeah, I mean...
So it's like an actual ant farm now, except with tiny bearded men.
Tiny bearded suicidal men. I mean,
So ants basically with
Yeah.
beards.
I already have like they've already found them right next to the base. This is a mess. Okay, well I'll just hit spacebar. We can watch them all die. Blip, 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 blip. But yeah, I actually quite like this mode. It's a nice, completely opposite change of pace to the regular game, since this is very much busy action time. And yes, dark mode. Welcome to dark mode.
Look at all those dwarfs go.
But yeah, this mode is a 60-minute mode. You start with no visibility whatsoever. I believe, it looks like there is a shine that may be difficult to see, but I believe that there is a shine for the minerals. So, I will try to dig to one, and hopefully we don't die. Whoop, we almost died. It's okay. I saved us. It was close. Extremely close. Yeah, we're super dead. Yes, the shines do lead to minerals. So that is advantageous. Oh, oh, the grass can... I didn't know the grass shut holes. That's nice. I believe the grass expands the larger your base becomes. So... yeah. Wait, this is...
Yeah, I remembered from the free-to-play version you could increase your base size and make it bigger and
it's a lot more
powerful.
likely to happen if you play
more
the hour
dwarves.
version of the game. It's a lot more likely for that to happen. Or, alternatively, you could play the endless mode, which just literally goes on forever. And yeah, I believe this one's giving you map sizes. I think this is the only mode that lets you choose them, since I don't think you get to choose your map size in arcade mode. It is just the default map size. Alright, so we have a huge map. So let's click huge map in endless mode. And let's see how big the map could be. Da na 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 na. Na 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 na. Alright, that's the edge of the map. Made it. Na 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 na.
So judging by how long you sang, I would assume that is an incredibly large map. Ridiculously huge.
I think there's a recenter button. I don't know. But it does take a long time to circumvent whatever the whole map. So yeah, if you have a lot of time and don't want time constraints, you can play the endless mode. That will go on forever, or until you choose to quit and never come back. I think I just summoned a window on the screen. Yeah, and that's, I mean, endless mode, there's no difference in endless mode, it's the same game. There's nothing special about it, other than it's endless. And I'm just gonna hold it. So,
Which
yeah,
has its
I mean,
advantages.
firstly, it means you get to play at your own pace. It can mess around if you so decide.
I like how big some of the caves get at the very edge boundaries. Like, you'd open one and it's just this colossal, cavernous sort of structure.
Yeah, there is a lot of caves that you get to unlock. It can be really distressing when you kick one open and it's like ginormous, and inside of it is lava or water, and you just look at it and you're like, oh my god, that's gonna take $10,000 to close. And yeah, gold does not come easily in this game. At least in the harder modes. If you want to play easy, you can. It's an option. And it won't nearly be as difficult. Or as demanding, I guess. Still quite difficult, but not as strict on what you can and can't do. And obviously you can...
I will say this game has a nice soundtrack to it. It's very relaxing.
I find this to be a very zen experience game. You know, you click around, the game half plays itself, because, you know, the dwarves are just doing their dwarf thing. They'll keep digging whether you care or not. You don't get to dictate what they do. Yeah, you can order a few of the dwarves around, and that's good, but yeah, for the most part, you just sit back and sort of watch the dwarves dig their way through the stage and hope that they don't kill everyone by digging into a lava cave or something. Now, the advantage of pressing the speed up button, if you're wondering what it would be, when you press the speed up button in the timed campaign, the level goes faster, but the timer remains the same speed. So...
I see what you're saying. So you can get a higher score that way,
if you were to
theoretically.
hold the speed button the whole time, you would be like quadrupling or something the pace of the game. So you would end up with a score 4 times higher. I'm not quite sure what the speed cap is, though. I'm not quite sure how fast you actually go. But yeah, that would be the way of things. I will hold space, hold the S key down, and get speeding along. Go, guys, go. Oh, it had to be water, didn't it? Alright. I'll block the water. Whoops, there's lava everywhere. Oh well. You can watch it burn.
Now, what happens if water and lava meets? Does anything happen?
Why don't we find out?
Because if it's anything like real life, you get obsidian or volcanic glass or any sort of other sort of
I think
thing.
what you can see from what has happened here, I think the two cancel each other out. They don't destroy each other, they just kind of meet a...
So that could actually be
an
advantageous.
equilibrium where they just push against each other perpetually. I think. I mean, we can check properly. We can check probably in real time right now. But we did die, so. Other than that, there is actually one more mode buried in there. And it's in a subcategory, and it's called Base Defense. And yeah, it's a tower defense. That's what it is. It's a... I guess you could use the term fully featured tower defense if you wanted to, for some reason. But yeah, it is a tower defense. You have your... The catch with this tower defense is that the starting dwarf actually digs his way towards your little house. Which means that you get to lay out the actual path that the beasties follow. I am not good at tower defense games, so...
Oh, I'm not
I think
either.
I just killed myself on the first stage. Man, that is embarrassing. I accidentally built 2 towers that I don't think do damage. So that's crap. But, it's a tower defense game. I mean, I do not enjoy tower defense games. Straight up honesty, I don't enjoy them.
It depends. I've played a few that I've enjoyed.
Well, I mean, what's amusing to me is, like, the ones that I would say I enjoyed is something that is only peripherally a tower defense game. Orcs Must Die, I think. Like, in Orcs Must Die...
Right, because that has an active combat element
and
to it.
The traps are a lot more devious, in a way. They've got, like... You know, you build traps that... do more interesting things. Like, the traps that you build are, I'm trying to articulate. The traps, like, do things like catapult the orcs around the screen and stuff.
Yeah, they're death traps. You're trying to, like...
Yeah,
right.
That's much more...
It is a very fun game. I liked... What's that one I liked? Sanctum's kind of fun because it has the active battle mechanic to it as well, while also being a traditional tower defense game. And I have yet to play Sanctum 2, which apparently improves on the game quite a bit, the original game quite a bit, so...
Yes, I didn't play Sanctum 2. I'd like to.
Now, Sanctum actually has its own fully featured tower defense mode
so
now.
just pure tower defense.
Right, and I forget the exact name for it. Or what the name of it is. It's like Sanctum something or other. I can actually look that up really quick. I'm trying to think. What was the first tower defense game? Because I remember playing this one. It was like a flash game just called Desktop Tower
I'm pretty
Defense.
sure the first tower defense game...
But I assume it was based on something
probably,
else.
One of the... it's almost certainly a mini-game within... Not like a mini-game, but like a map mode in StarCraft, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it might have been. I can't remember, though. But I know that, what else was there? There was that was the first tower defense game I remember playing was Desktop Tower Defense. And that one was unusual, but there was also... Okay, so the dedicated Sanctum one is called just Super Sanctum TD, which I assume stands for Tower Defense,
yes.
and not Total Dicks. So.
Total Distortion?
Yeah. Super Sanctum Total Dicks. I wish. I wish someone would... I wish whoever owns that property would release the soundtrack. Because that game's got a rockin' soundtrack to it.
It doesn't have much else going for it, but yeah.
It does.
No, it has a style.
Right.
A very...
I wonder if that's one Night Dive we'll get a hold of.
I cannot imagine anyone attempting to re-release Total Distortion. But, you know, I mean, maybe. I mean, they might, because they're insane.
Well, they've released a couple of obscure Russian FPS games recently, so I don't think anything's beyond their grasp at this point. I think there just has to be interest there for the game.
Yeah. But that is a little bit difficult to get interest. So yeah, I mean, this is me playing.
So you're not doing bad at this.
I've been getting hit. I mean, that's... By default, getting hit is a complete failure in this sort of game.
Right, but this game allows you to do that, so...
I don't think you get help.
It affords you that, I guess, luxury, if you want to call it.
Though. So once your health is gone...
Right, so you can only get hit so many times.
And I'm in a lot of trouble because my health is draining very rapidly. So I will buy another tower to hopefully... No, that's not a shooting tower. What is this? Is it a slowing down tower?
I'd almost say this mode alone is worth the price of entry because of the way the tower defense mechanic works. How you build the mazes, it's built in directly into the games.
Yeah, I mean, it's
mechanics, which is actually really nice.
Oh, it's a lich tower? What the hell is a lich tower? What did I build? I think it slows them down.
One thing to note about, one thing I've noticed here is there are towers that slow enemies down. Those are generally good. You want to pair those with towers that fire very quickly and have a narrow radius so that you can slow enemies down so you deal more damage over time. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
I mean, I built the wrong tower there, but it's fine because it works now. It just didn't work on that level. Okay, so now we have reached where the only reason I was really playing this mode still was because we have sort of reached the invisible enemies, which is a normal feature of tower defense games, but yeah, they're in this one, and they're quite bothersome, and you have to build special towers to take care of them. And look, I mean, if you don't play tower defense games, I'm sure this might be like, oh man, that's how these things work, but I mean, if you play tower defense games, you're probably like, well, duh, because this is all super typical.
Well, usually, it's either invisible enemies or flying enemies or something that requires specific dedicated towers.
This one doesn't have flying enemies, which is perfectly rational because why the hell would they be flying enemies underground? Yeah.
It's underground.
You don't get much...
Oh, they could be bats or something.
You don't get much ammo, but not ammo. You don't get much money between stages in this one. This game's very much...
Right, but you're playing on a pretty high difficulty, aren't you?
This one is just
hard,
a flat rate fee. Which is fine, you know. That's fine. I better put down another photon tower or I will die. Zappy, 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 zappy. Zappy, zappy, zappy. Don't let him hit my base. Don't let him hit my base! Ah! Okay, well, we made it, but very, very, very slightly. I don't know why I'm showing, like, the part of the game that I find the least interesting. But, I guess, you know...
I don't know. The whole package for this game is actually pretty good. I mean, you get a light strategy game that's vaguely similar to Dungeon Keeper or Sim-Ant, I guess. Maybe you could say it's what's the term that those people always use when they say, "Oh, it's X meets Y"? So I guess it's Sim-Ant meets.
Well, I mean, is there a term, or is that like?
But it's got all these other modes that drastically change how the game.
It's like a hybrid.
Well, you know how like some games, like especially indie games, right? But you know how certain indie games will advertise themselves.
Yeah, is it a mashup?
Y, or the love child of. So, but I think mashup might be the term. In any case, this game is pretty solid. Like you've got a base game that's pretty good. You've got a bunch of modes that change it, and then you have something completely wild like this.
Yeah, I mean,
that's added value for a lot of people there.
When I got this game, I was like, huh. I think this tower defense mode was actually added post-release. Like they just updated it, put it in at one point, which is why it's not in the skirmish mode menu, and why it's in its own separate little menu. I have clearly not got the damage to kill this guy, so I have made a fundamental error in the construction of my towers. But, on the upside, game over, you know. Game over. We're dead. Enter your name. No.
I will say the money rewards are a bit low for a tower defense. You'd have to basically design these perfectly.
Yeah, this is definitely...
And you're not always in control of that, so... Now, you can level up your tower. Sometimes just having 1 or 2 towers and then slightly leveling them up is plenty.
Can you level up your towers in this one?
I know some tower defense games, they... I think so. I thought they said that when you hovered over one of the towers, it said a level 1 tower or whatever. I might be mistaken,
I got trashed. Oh well. Did you just demonstrating how little I know about?
I think. I don't know. You'd have to play it again.
No, we're good. I mean, other people can figure it out. Okay, well, let's click this catastrophe. This is a campaign. I think the vocals...
There's actually spoken dialogue, huh?
I can't remember for sure, but this may actually be the, one of the Youngcast people, doing the voice work for this.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, for some reason, I don't know, this game, again, this game's kind of funny in that I would say it's got some rather unusual... It's got like another unusual tie-in for the game, I guess. Is that inexplicably the one of the Yoggcast people are involved in its production as such, or at least they were involved in the naming process. I mean the vocal process of the game. A little odd, but you know. People like the Yoggcast. I mean, no idea why, but people like the Yoggcast, so... Okay, I mean, it's kids, really, isn't it? Kids like the Yoggcast.
Yeah, kids really... That's the thing to take away from Let's Plays, is that if you don't really like Let's Play, it's probably just not for you, and that's okay.
Oh.
Especially modern Let's Plays, like, if you're more into the something awful kind, those still exist too.
Oh, they stopped gaming garbage. I think Smokey finally lost his mind. He couldn't deal with the bad games anymore.
Yeah, seems to be that way.
I don't blame him. He wanted to actually do something with his...
Now, can water and lava set off dynamite as well, or can only dwarves?
Despite what you might think, lava doesn't set off dynamite.
What?
Yeah.
Water, I can understand. That would just douse the fuse.
I have not survived. I think I've actually survived long enough to pass the basic survival time. Maybe. I haven't survived for 3 minutes. I've only survived for 1. Come on. Come on. I don't have the cash for this. I'm gonna get exploded. I think you're supposed to use the water in this stage, though, because as you can see, the water is counteracting the lava. So... I'm pretty sure what you're supposed to have done in this stage is balance the water with the lava so you don't die instantly. It makes sense to me. And that's the end of me. But yeah, so, you know, there's some skirmish levels that, add even more value to the game. And, you know, there is a lot of value here, I would say. As you were saying before, like, this is the complete package of a game. I'm pretty sure it costs a pretty small amount. I think it costs like $10 or something. Now, this game...
Yeah, it's $9.99.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you wait for a Steam sale, it'll probably just automatically go 50% off or whatever. But, yeah, like... I really enjoy this game because the pacing's fun. This game got kind of... I think it received some negative, not necessarily reviews, but some negative opinion. Because this game sort of came out or was inspired by Dwarf Fortress. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was, because I think, you know, Dwarf Fortress came out, and it was like this huge, like, wow, this thing's incredible, it's like multi-layered and insane. But it was basically unplayable, you know, unless you were willing to read the 1600-page Wikipedia to work out how to make wool out of silt or whatever. And you could stand to have your retinas burnt out by ASCII images, you could play the game. So for the rest of us mere humans, people were trying to, find an alternative, and Dungeon Keeper 2 was, I don't know, like 10 years old at that point, so people were like, hey, let's make other games with dwarves, and there was that, Dungeon Dwarves, or some other game involving dwarves, or Nomia, or some...
Right, yeah, there was some
and
other
there's like
sort
a bunch
of
of
game.
games that were like, yeah, we're kind of like Dwarf Fortress, but we lack all of the big, massive things that make Dwarf Fortress such an interesting game. And it felt like kind of really cheap tie-ins, well, not cheap tie-ins, cheap knockoffs rather. And then there's Dwarves, which clearly has the digging and the constant threat of looming death, and it's not an RTS. It's very much a life sim in that way, because they just hang out, they just dig. You don't control where they go. You can't tell them what to do. And I think people played it and they're like, this isn't Dwarf Fortress. 0 out of 10. Which is fair enough, because I do think that there was kind of an attitude cultivated towards this game that it was, oops, I pulled the trigger too soon and killed the dwarf. Well, it's better that than have the whole base get destroyed by lava.
Only pause time for a little bit, so that's pretty
yeah,
hair-raising.
very...
Yes, welcome, and please purchase my video game.
Actually,
Limited
you can
amount
only
of
freeze time for about
stuff.
2 seconds, I think it is. And then you have to wait for the cooldown, which is quite long. On the upside, the cooldown is sped up when you use the speed up button, so you're not punished for speeding up. So that is good.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to use a spell. I don't like this guy very much. But yeah, the other thing is, you might have noticed you can actually click the emergency bubbles, and then you'll zoom right to that thing that's going on.
Yes, I really like that, because then you can instantly focus in on the problem. Some games don't give you that courtesy.
Especially when you're dealing with this game, which gets pretty freaking big. You can have a very large problem if you end up with too many guys. So let's just gradually seal in these places that are kind of dangerous. Just kind of how you play the game. Just gradually block off things that will kill you horribly.
I like how you have no money.
You never have any money in the harder difficulties.
Oh, now you've got us. Man. Well, it's fluctuating pretty rapidly, though, I'm seeing, because it's like 1 second you'll have 2, and then it'll blow up back to 500, and then you'll have nothing again.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything is very expensive. I mean, that's the short of it. Lava has been released. Oh my. Oh, he ran into the money. That's okay. I'll take that. I mean, yeah, the short of it is that, every time a dwarf hits, like, a seam of resources, you kind of get this brief surge of money. Which makes sense, because the resources are actually quite valuable. So it makes sense that, getting those resources is very beneficial to you. The problem is, the ones that are really valuable are often surrounded by extremely dangerous enemies. But since we have the time, I think I'll dig out quite far. And we'll collect the fat cash. Oop, a dwarf has struck water. You let your guard down for a second, and the dwarves will kill themselves and everything you hold dear. Don't react fast enough. Everything goes to hell. And you can see the grass is getting bigger, and some like buildings and stuff are spawning, which I rather like. Unfortunately, the enemies...
Yeah, they've got little settlements, which is nice.
The enemies don't actually interact with the things that are, like settlements that are built, so they will always bum rush your main base. You just know, there he is. This is where this idiot keeps digging, trying to kill everyone. Alright, it's another trapped lava cave. Delicious. So yeah, you know, it grows bigger and bigger, and you sort of end up managing, like, really, really large spaces.
Well, they manage themselves. You generally don't have to do a lot of
That's actually
micromanagement,
one
it
of the reasons I
seems.
really like this game.
You just have to observe what's
Yeah.
going on.
I like it, because it's very much an issue that I have with a lot of RTS and life sim, not really life sim, but like city builders and stuff, is you do too much. I know that like that level of micromanagement is appealing, but you know, at the same time, sometimes you want to play a sim where you're kind of just like an overseer. You're just like the guy in charge. You're not like the super ultra god who does absolutely everything inexplicably. You just want to like...
Right, that's something that always got me about RTS games. So I was gonna say, oh crap.
Okay,
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll figure it out.
like, it's just something that I find really... Yes.
What was I
you
gonna say?
get it?
Okay, wait,
Got
no.
it? You know what you're gonna say?
No, I'm exhausting. And go ahead. Getting tired. But yeah, that was something. That's something that bothers me about a lot of RTS games is the amount of micromanagement. And I'm thinking, okay, you're like basically the president or the general. He's not going to be like, okay, guys, you need to build all of these factories here, here, and here, mine this bizarre resource, and then manufacture everything on site. It's like that's not how, you know, the military or really any large organization operates.
Yeah.
You've got smaller people to delegate the tasks
Yeah,
out.
I've been thinking the other day, actually, on that exact topic, that because I was thinking about Dwarfs and the difference. Because, yeah, it's like, most RTS games, you play as, like, a general who has a boss who tells him to do something, but at the same time, you have no one directly above you telling you what you vaguely should be doing, generally. And you have no one directly below you that says, you know, okay, well, I'll go build the base then. You have, like, just this massive overarching thing where you're like, put this here, send that one guy specifically over there. I want the scout to do his job, and I'm gonna tell him to walk over here and then point his gun at this thing, and then use his sight power on this wall. And it's like, okay, that's it's pretty in-depth for, you know, military command, I guess. So, I do find this...
Yeah, it's something I have a lot of troubles with. I have a lot of trouble with real-time strategy games for that reason, because it's, again, a lot of micromanagement. You have to do it very quickly. It's a genre I really do want to like. I've always wanted to be able to get into this strategy, but it's just very difficult because, again, micromanagement, you have to think about what sort of build queues you want to do in advance, what sort of units you're going to need. It's funny watching professional StarCraft matches, because the way they work is that, like, some guy will use some really bizarre, obscure technique. It's like, oh, he's using the reverse, you know, Zerg Rush maneuver, whatever. And as a direct result of that, they lose the game instantly because they were building the pro Zerg Rush counter strategy rather than the reverse Zerg Rush counter strategy. And so they'll just type GG, and it's only like 10 minutes in. It's like, I don't know what the hell just happened. Why did they
one of the reasons that they sort of do compare, like, StarCraft or whatever to chess and stuff in that regard, because it is like, oh, he applied that strategy? Well, I lose. That's like, oh, is that fun?
It's frustrating. It's fun. It's funny to watch it, but it's very frustrating at the same time because the metagame is so figured out and so advanced.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I just have to execute this series of moves.
You know, there's no counter strategy. There's no, like, right.
Yeah. Yeah, what you can do is you can have an outpost, and then once it's built, you can actually toggle it to spawn its own dwarves. And then that will just spawn dwarves. So you can spawn significantly more dwarves.
So what's the advantage of that other than spawning them closer to a resource?
And that's kind of...
Oh, okay, I get it.
That's the main advantage. But the fact is, whoop, 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 whoop. More lava. We're hitting all the lavas now, so give me a sec here. I gotta deal with this, which is a general way that this game works, is stuff happens, you deal with it. In this case, lava. A lot of lava. And I don't want to die yet. Don't really want to lose the game yet. I rather like this game. I like where it's going, so let's just get this massive lava cave under control. And we'll be good. Safe enough. Check this one. That's under control. Okay, so we'll go back to our spawning area. But yeah, as you can see, we have Shaman has just shown up here. We'll go deal with him in a sec. But as you can see, you've got your dwarves, and they're already spawning out of this area, which lets you cover a huge amount more of the map. Because you have dwarves piling out of 2 places at once. It does cost money per dwarf. It costs 50 gold per dwarf, which is not cheap. But now that I've spawned like 4 dwarves here, I can just turn it off, and I now have quite a significant chunk of dwarves. All digging here. Which is quite good. So we will build another outpost because, well, it'd be crap to lose now, wouldn't it? And then once that's built, the outposts get more expensive with each one you build. I think if one gets destroyed, the price is reduced. But yeah, they do get destroyed. And you can also, train your dwarves, which costs 20 gold per second, I think. And then the dwarves that are there gain levels without you needing to, all the dwarves that are assigned to this thing gain levels, which is very handy. And then finally, there is enemies that are attacked in the back take bonus damage. So there is kind of this extra strategy.
Is there any way to actively backstab them?
They basically get backstabbed by your dwarves. You have to physically move your dwarves using arrows in order to put them behind them. It is kind of chunky and a little bit tedious, but you do what you gotta do in this game. That's the main priority. Man, look at this guy. He has just been like whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, another cave. Where's my nearest thing? Now, the guns do have a range. And it is kind of annoying. Their range is not particularly generous. Which means you end up building several... Oh, we've only got 20 seconds left anyway. Let's speed it up. But yeah,
and then somehow you die in the last few minutes.
Last few seconds.
Seconds, rather.
Not. Piling that money. Alright, we've got 8 seconds left. Let's see if we can seal off this cave before we finish the level. I'm not clicking it fast enough, we're too late. I keep getting achievement pop-ups, but that's because they added the achievements after I finished playing. I haven't played for a long time. Like, a very long time, so it keeps giving me achievements that I would have gotten.
So was it like a,
They're like in-game achievements that they added.
Okay.
I don't think they originally...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, they didn't grandfather, they didn't keep track of the stats, so...
Yeah, and that's my score. Yeah.
So...
But... see, this is the guy from the Yo cast did a voice or something.
I like that picture for the rage mode because it just looks like an imp from Doom. He's just gone discovered Hulkamania for
There's
the first
some
time.
terrible Yogcast song going on.
He's running wild, brother.
You can't hear it, and it's my present to you, my gift, is that I will mute it, because it's stupid. And it is. I like this game, though. Like, $10, pretty good deal. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to summarize any of it. It's a Zen game that's actually a game.
Structured.
Like, it's not just a toy box or something very, very ethereal. Like you watch it grow, and then the tree just grows, and you just watch it. Like, it's like a solid game component to it. It is very much you can play it. But at the same time, there's also this kind of side, not quite so much a... you can play it for like really fast-paced, very hectic, but you don't have to. You can play it at your own pace, especially in the endless mode. Yeah. And there's absolutely reason not to try the free-to-play demo, which is just called the free-to-play Dwarfs. That's fine. I would probably recommend buying the game out rather than buying it piecemeal, unless you take one look at it and go, I would like the endless mode and nothing else, because then I guess you could do that. But yeah, it's $10, and it's probably like $5 or something when it's on special, and it will probably hit special anytime. So good. Thanks for joining us again.